I've been messing around with sharp stuff long before I started this YouTube channel in 2013. And I've always really liked Gerber knives. So about 10 years ago in 2014, I took a look at what was at that time maybe one of the most hated knives in the outdoor community, this Gerber Grylls Ultimate Survival Knife. And then I took a follow-up look at it a year later. Well, in today's video, I'm going to take a look at the current, the iteration of that knife. This is the Gerber Ultimate Survival Knife. We're going to take a look at this one. We're going to kind of compare the two, see what's the same, what's different, and then we're going to put this one through the Survival on Purpose standardized, rigorous scientific testing process. Coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me for another Sharp Saturday video where it's Saturday and we take a look at something sharp, I hope. Like I said, today, that something sharp is going to be this Gerber Ultimate Survival Knife, and we're going to compare it again to the Grylls knife. But first, I've been trying to remember to start every video with a relevant Bible scripture. Today, we're going to take a look at Proverbs 25, verses 4 and 5. We're going to double whammy because I think it's especially relevant to today's political climate in the United States. Remove the impurities from silver, and the sterling will be ready for the silversmith. Remove the wicked from the king's court, and his reign will be made secure by justice. So now, as I said, we're going to talk about this knife compared to this knife, and along the way, there's probably going to be a little bit of rambling. But first, a big thank you to today's video sponsor, my friends at Hog Holsters. HAWG stands for Helping Americans Wear Guns, and Hog Holsters is the most comfortable, most concealable, best concealed carry holster I have ever tested, and I have tested quite a few. You can save 10% on your order over $30 at Hog Holsters by using the coupon code Survival on Purpose, all one word. That's Hog Holsters, Helping Americans Wear Guns, and thanks again to John at Hog Holsters for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get down to the old stump top, get to doing some of that knife stuff. You want to? Okay, here we are at the old stump top with the Gerber Ultimate Fixed Blade and its predecessor, the Grylls Ultimate Survival Knife. And as I said, this one is brand new. This one is 10 years old now. So what I thought we'd do is we'll talk about the specs of the new one, and because this one is no longer in production, and then we'll compare and see kind of what's the same and what's different. So first of all, just start with the blade itself. Take this out of here. We'll take this one out of here. So the knife itself is a full tang knife. This one is full tang. The tang is melded with this hammer pommel we'll talk about in a minute. But the overall length is 10 inches, same as the Grylls. The weight with the sheath is it says it's 11 ounces. It's actually 13.1 ounces by my scale. The Grylls one is 13.3, so essentially the same. And the knife only weight is 8.1 ounces, and Grylls is 8.0. The specs say this is 8.3. I came up with 8.1. The Ultimate Fixed Blade features a 4 3/4 inch partially serrated blade of stone-washed 7CR stainless steel, and the Grylls one was a black coated, and all it said on it was high carbon stainless steel. They both have a 5 1/4 inch very ergonomic handle with rubber grips and 3 lashing holes here, 1 in the pommel and 2 up here, so you can lash this thing, use it just for a lanyard, or you can lash it to a stick to make a spear, or more likely just to cut down some fruit or out of high trees or whatever. Extend your reach. Again, it has a hammer pommel. This is a stainless steel hammer pommel. It looks about the same as the original, which was black. Both have a fire striking place on the back, so a ground 90-degree spine on the back of the blade here. So this one has that as well. Talk about the sheath real quickly. They both have essentially the same sheath, just different. They removed the apparently annoying to a lot of people, the Grylls orange, because a lot of people just really seem to hate Grylls. I'm going to ramble about that again in just a minute, but let's show you what the sheath does here. So first of all, there's a included fire striker that fits in here with a little friction ring, and I've got it lashed on with a whistle. There's also a whistle that comes with the lanyard. Let's blow that one for you. So it definitely would. It's louder than you can probably yell for a long time. And then you flip this thing up. Oh, and it has a. Let's talk about this real quick. Pretty good retention. It's not just going to fall out of there. And it also has an additional Velcro retention strap near the top, like that. Okay. The sheath, once you loosen the Velcro retention around the plastic sheath, it flips up, and you have a diamond sharpening stone here to help keep this thing sharp, which is pretty cool. And then I've got the lanyard. I put it around this Velcro as well. I just kind of put this thing around there to keep everything in place. That way, I could, if this thing did happen to come out of there, because it's in pretty tight, but it could, I guess, if you pulled it loose or hit it on something, it won't disappear. It's gonna be connected to the sheath. So that's just a little hack I did to the sheath to make sure that everything stayed where it's supposed to be. And then that's the sheath. On the back of it, there is just a standard belt loop, and then there are a couple of little spots here. You might, if you had a molly stick, you might could use a couple of molly sticks to get these things, to get it into some molly, or you could just to give you something else to strap it to. I never really found much use for those, to be honest with you. And as you can see right here, get this right up front, the sheath and the knife are both made in China, as was the Bear Grylls version. So that's everything I can think of to tell you about this thing. Let's look at the differences now. Everything's pretty much the same. The color of the blade, this one had the black finish on it. This one is stone washed. Obviously, this has got the orange color, which I really like. A lot of people didn't like this Bear Grylls thing because Bear Grylls was getting a whole lot of hate at that time, because it came out that in his Man vs. Wild show, which really I give it credit for helping a lot of people, or encouraging a lot of people to get back into the woods and to really explore this whole outdoor thing. But he was catching a lot of grief because he was, it turned out maybe in some of those places, they were staging things, and he was staying in a hotel at night and just different things. Look, it's a TV show, okay? Plain and simple. But the only other thing I can see as far as the differences are, the grip on the Bear Grylls had a different kind of texture, and a little texture on the back here. Both have some kind of jimping here. They both have a little jimping down here, and they both have a nice finger guard. This one just has a different texture, and it doesn't really have any texture here on the back. And of course, different color. And then, I don't know if you can see this, but it looks to me like the spine on the Bear Grylls all together is sharper than the spine here, but this 90-degree spine is a 90-degree spine. So, the other big difference is this was a fine edge, and this was a partially serrated. And that's all the comparison. Now we're gonna focus the rest of the video on the new Ultimate Fixed Blade. I've been wanting to get my hands on one of these a long time. It's been a while since I did a Gerber review, and I reached out to the folks at Gerber and said, hey, touching base again. They said they wanted to send me some stuff, and they sent me this one, because I actually specifically requested this one because I really, really want to check it out. Because, look, I know this got a lot of grief, but I'll just be honest with you. I like this knife. I always liked this knife. It feels really, really good in my hand. I like the way the grip feels. It feels good. It's very balanced. It's just a very good weight. I really like the knife. I like the sheath system. I like the fact that it's got a ferro rod with it. It had a whistle, a little sharpening rod. I just thought it was a really very, very good idea in a pretty nice little package. I'm sure David Canterbury's got a bucket full of these things broken at his survival class, but I liked it, and I still did. And I did a follow-up a year later on this knife, by the way, after beating the heck out of it for a year. I was a scoutmaster. I carried this thing into every camp out we went to. I used it religiously for a year with no issues. So, and on the back of this one, there's one more difference while I'm rambling. On the back of this, it has an Alpine rescue signal. It tells you, like, if you're needing to get rescued, it's things, what they actually mean, the official code for different things. So that's pretty cool. This one does not have that. So all that's well and good. I'm trying to see what else it says. And it's got a little emblem on back there like a flame. And it shows you where the scrape to scrape. And then it's got the Gerber emblem there. And no Bear Grylls anywhere. And it's green. I kind of wish it was orange. I like the orange because I like the fact that you drop that in the woods, it's gonna stand out really, really clearly. And The Gerber serrations are stinking really good serrations, by the way. If you don't believe that you can do a lot with these, just check out my friend Magnus Anderson. Maybe I'll put a link to one of his videos. He is a wizard with Gerber serrations. So that being said, we're gonna get all scientific now and take a look at this drop point blade. We've got about that much of actual blade that we can actually test for the internationally standard sharpness test using the Redneck Sharp Test. So I think we ought to do that, don't you? Let's do it. Let's get our testing medium out here and see what happens. Oh man. Okay, ooh baby. Man, oh man. So yeah, look at all that hire there. That sucker is by golly sharp. So, and to me, that's just an indication of the quality control at the factory. I know you're gonna have to sharpen a knife, but look at that bare spot there. So that's I'm giving that one a plus for Redneck Sharpness. It really did a great job there. So what else can we do? I'm gonna try to maintain our scientific testing process. I have got a piece of wood here. I believe this is birch. It's pretty dry, very solid, and got a couple of knots in it. We're going to attempt to do that mean, horrible, completely needless thing of batoning through this thing to try to get into the middle of the coat. Because it's been laying out here in the rain. It feels pretty dry, but we're going to do this anyway. And previously I was told that my baton was not big enough, so I've got a bigger one. So let's see what we can do with this thing. I don't know if you can see that, but when I was started the batoning process, I could see water squeezing up around it. See, you see the water, kind of the water mark on the end here and on the end here where it soaked up the rain. So there's definitely a valid reason for doing batoning sometimes, and that's to allow you to get into the center of some wood, because the exterior can typically soak it up. So you want to get into the center if you're trying to start a fire where it's been raining. So we'll put you over there. We're going to split this thing down another time. See if we can get kind of more into the center. I probably could stand a slightly smaller baton, but we'll see. I think I might be hitting a little something there. Let's see. Okay. All right, well, chip that off. I think we got something we can try some carving on now. So let's see what we can do with that. And I think this is the interior that we're looking for. So first we'll start with the serrated edge. And it's, by golly, doing fine. Serrations make these nice. Look at those little curls. Wow. Now, my friend Magnus over in Sweden is left-handed, so these curls will be different left-handed because you're basically working off this flat chisel edge. And I'll try left-handed, but I'm not left-handed. So, yeah, see, I'm not. It bites him more. So for me, or for a right-handed person, they really work really well for making curls because you don't really have the angle's already there. You pretty much just kind of do it. They make really small little curls. So. See, I got some damp stuff in there, I know. So I'm going to turn it over now and try to use the, see if I can get up here and use the non-curly, the non-serrated part. Carve some little tiny, thin curls. Okay. We got a nice little pile there. What's next in the process? We have baton, we've carved, checked the sharpness. Let's well, you know we haven't checked out some fat wood, so I'm gonna reach down here and get this fat wood out of storage. And you can see how wet it is. And we're just gonna try to keep this segregated because I want to try to see what could happen if you're in a very unfortunate position and don't have any access to fat wood or lighter knot or resin impregnated evergreen. Let's see if we can just carve some small curls first off of it, because that's what we did with the other one, and we can. Pretty good there, nice little shavings. But really, what I like to do with fat wood is scrape it. So we'll use the spine that's sharpened there. See if we can scrape some. Oh yeah, look at that. And then of course, oh, it smells so good. Okay, back in storage with you. Now, we're gonna put you over here for now, and we'll use you if we need to. Hopefully we won't need to. So let's take this here. Okay, I'm gonna leave this on here instead of taking it all apart, although you could take it apart. It might be easier. We're just gonna see if this thing will strike a ferro rod like it's supposed to. Get the paint off. See what kind of ferro rod this is. Looks like a decent little ferro rod. Let's see. Oh, it's time to go. And looky there. By George, I think we might have got her going there. Indeed. So since we got that going, let's just see what we can do with this one. See, everybody says, because they saw it on Dave Canterbury, and Dave's a smart guy, man. He's got to pull it away so you don't mess up your tinder pile, and that works a lot of times like that. But I just generally do better doing that. That's me. Anyway, there we go. Okay, so that was some of the practical testing, and as hopefully you saw, I think this thing performed very well in every step of the practical testing portion of our rigorous testing procedure here at Survival on Purpose. But as you know, here at Survival on Purpose, we are all about the science, and to that end, we maintain a state-of-the-art, cutting-edge knife testing facility here at our worldwide headquarters. And one of the tests I like to put all fixed-blade knives through is to test the aerodynamic balance using the balance, orientation, and rotation device. So we're going to do that. This thing is just screaming to be balance tested, and I'm kind of trying to stand in the shadow to keep the glare off my face right now, but I'm going to have to get a little bit closer to you, I think, to get the distance calibration right. So bear with me. I did have a shower today, and as always, proper scientific methodology is absolutely critical. So whoop, 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 whoop. Come closer. The calibration was off. Whoop. It just rolls off the fingertip. Whoop. Oh, that one rolled a little far. One last time. When Chuck Norris went down to the crossroads, the devil sold his soul. Alrighty, well, that was the balance testing portion of our scientific process here for the Gerber Ultimate Fixed Blade. And as I knew I probably would, because I really like the Bear Grylls knife so much. Yep, I really like this knife. I know it's made in China. I know it's a descendant of the dreaded, horrible, evil, hated Gerber Bear Grylls knife, which so far it's took a licking and kept on ticking for me. I just like the knife. Sue me if you want to, but it feels really good in my hand. I just like this grip. I like it. Just it's when you pick this up in your hand, it's like, man, this feels really good. So that's the ultimate fixed blade from Gerber. Thanks again to Gerber for sending me this so I could show it to you and compare it with the hated Bear Grylls knife. And as always, thank you for watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.